Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Welcome and welcome back to those who have been here before. Today, we are going to be doing a page with a technique that I talked about and very few have seen. So if you've seen my video on the otters, you've seen how I put the little guy in water and made it look like the bottom half of him was in water. So I'm going to demonstrate that technique, but actually create actual water where water did not exist. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to do it. So sit back, relax, and we're going to be working out of this new book from Remy's Small Art called Moss Stories and Backgrounds. And it's by Marta Lepkowska. So we're working out of this beautiful book today. And you're going to see some raggedy pages. You're going to see some raggedy things and think, what is she doing? But there is a reason. And it's part of the creating water process. So you're going to get to see, and you're going to wonder, how is she going to get that to look like water? So the first two pieces that I'm going to use are these two. Now this particular piece, it looks raggedy, and it's supposed to. This beneath here was almost an exact mirror image of this up here. So if you have the book, you're gonna see there's a bunch of flowers right down here. So what I did was I crumpled it up like this about 50 to 75 times. And it took me about 30 minutes to get this kind of texture in this area right down here. And I tested one of my markers, and you're gonna see some rips and tears, but I'll show you how to fix those. These little cuts are strategic, so you'll see those in a minute. If you get overzealous, you're going to have rips and tears, but that's okay, because when you glue it down, those rips and tears are going to disappear. So, I did make a land mass right up here, and I'm going to go over it again to make it a little bit darker. And then I was testing out my white gel pen because I'm going to be making a water line that's going to even emphasize more that this is water. So this was actually a picture of flowers right down here. It looked a lot like this, but when I got done scrunching it and scrunching it, by scrunching it this way, I get the lines to go this way, and it creates a water effect. The same thing with this over here. And again, when I glue this down, you're not going to be able to see the rip, but this is water. There was no water here. It was just foliage and a white area. So I'm extending the water line on purpose. And I'm going to be adding a few friends. Let me get rid of the frog in my throat. My voice is getting so much stronger. So I appreciate your patience for those of you who have been with me when my voice was better than it has been. So let's get some of this down, and then we can see exactly what we're working with. And again, it does look raggedy. And I'm gonna glue this down, not flat like this, but bunched up like this on purpose, because I want it to look like water. And I'm going to glue it in strategic places so that it will stay in its wrinkled form. So bear with me as I get this to stick down. So in this with the water, and again, this does look raggedy, but it's supposed to. And I'm melding these two pages together, and that's another reason why I turned this blank and floral area into water, is because I wanted the water to continue. So I'm gonna work with it and glue it down so that it will meld itself together. So by wrinkling up from the bottom of the page, you get the side to side movement of whatever you wrinkle to make it look like it's in water or it is water. I'm going to also add a little friend. We have a duck. So I'm gonna add him to the bank. And then I'm also gonna show you how to add his reflection. So you're gonna get to see that as well. On this wrinkled paper, it is much easier for me to add the glue to the page and to get it to adhere than to do the other way around. And again, just keep rumpling it, and it will look like waves. Just keep working with it. It's scary at first when it starts to tear, because you're like, oh no, it's tearing. But that's okay, you can put the tear back together. So I'm gonna start melding this piece to this piece. And I hope everybody's had a good week. And I'm going to repair this rib right here. So it's a little bit fussy, but it's neat to wrinkle and pinch and to have it finally look like water when you're done. I have not done this on such a large scale, and I'm trying to get rid of that little white bit. So this is a much larger scale than I'm used to. And I'm going to get a wipe for my hands. Because my hands are getting glue all over them. Yes, right now it does look like a hot mess. And again, it's supposed to. And again, as you pinch and crimp, you get more of the waviness of the water. And I'm gonna wipe off the excess glue. Now there is something that I want to do with this water besides the bank. We don't need water lines in the water because it is so wavy. What I wanted to do is there's an area in this book where she's got rocks. And I'm going to show you how to add a rock to a stream or a lake or pond, a lot like what we have. And I'm going to go for this one. And you can embed this in the water, and you can add water lines around it to mimic that the water is lapping up against the rock. And it makes it more believable that it's actually in the water. Now I'm jagged cutting this little guy here so it looks more believable. And you just wiggle your scissors in and out in order to get that effect. It doesn't have to be exact with what you're cutting. And you can see how fast I did that. I usually go a lot slower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut into this right here and into this right here. And it's already very soft because it's got glue. And I'm going to embed this rock underneath here and then put the water back over it. And it's not wanting to behave. But I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get it to behave. And come back together. Okay. Now this is some very I'm gonna put some brown around it so it gets grounded. So you put some brown around it so it looks a lot like land. I'm gonna put some more up here. And it doesn't have to be even. It doesn't have to be super artistic. And I've got a hole right there, so I may patch that. So we've got some land. Then I'm gonna take a gel pen and make this jagged. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm still on screen. Make it jagged so it looks like the water's lapping up. It doesn't have to be perfect, which is a lot of fun. And I've got a boy who is crying because he wants some attention. You can even do little round ripples in the water, making it look like there's something going on. And this is a gel pen by Sakura. It's a jelly roll. And just put your lines wherever you want them. And I'm going to also add some land over here. And again, you can see I'm not being very precise because land is not precise. And then I'm gonna add the white. The white gel pen. This pen is not wanting to get wherever there's glue. So you just have to make do. So I'm adding a water line over here as well. And around the rock, making it look like there's some splashes. And you can make this waterline more prominent, or you can leave it thin. I'm making it more prominent in areas. And again, more water lines. Anywhere you want to highlight. I'm going to go ahead and get this one down. Okay. Now I've got our little friend here that I want to put on the bank. And I want him right here. Okay. Now I need a reflection. And Marta did make two of these. She made this one facing this way, and she made another one facing this way. And this is the one facing that way. And I've already crumpled him to make him look like he's a reflection. So I'm just gonna keep crumpling him. Just crumple him up as much as you can. Just crumple, crumple, crumple. He's a ball right now. And then I'm going to gingerly unroll him. And he will have the lines on him just like as if he was in water or a reflection. So I have to be very careful that I'm going to unravel him properly and not tear him up. And I've got a boy that just wants my attention. Okay, so get his back half. So you see how he is so crumpled and distorted? He's supposed to be. Because anytime you look at a reflection, it's not a perfect reflection. It's always distorted. So that's not gonna work. So I'm gonna flip him upside down and put him right here so that he matches his counterpart. So anytime you do a reflection, you want them facing the opposite way so that when you do flip it upside down, it matches. So this foot matches this foot up in the air matches that one. And just put him on the waves. So I love that Marta had made two that were facing the opposite direction, because then I could get away with the reflection. If they were facing the same direction, you couldn't get that same effect. So yes, he's distorted, but he's supposed to be, because he's a reflection. Okay. got this little beauty right here. I appreciate you guys coming with me on this creative project to try something a little bit more involved than I've ever done before, and to see the tips and techniques that you can use. And I'm gonna put her on the edge because one of her wings is cut off. And she's going on some rumply paper, so I really have to make sure that she is glued down good. She will probably dry overnight and stick very well to this rumpled paper. She's already starting to. Next, what I want to do is I want to add some interest up in here. So I was going to add some distressed ink. And I must have an edge that's flattened on this because it's coming out with a very flat edge, but that's okay because I'm getting ready to remedy that. Okay, that one didn't. I'm gonna change my tip. And I'm gonna go with the green. So sometimes these things happen. You just gotta roll with it. Now, in a normal world, will you see bright circles in the sky? No. Kind of like this green better than the pink. I like the effect it has. And you can just put it anywhere you want. You can even put it on the house if you wanted to. But you see how you can add some charm and whimsy to a page by just adding random dots. And now I'm gonna really shake it up. And I'm gonna add a third color. Take this tip off. Am I gonna do it? Let's see what we can get to work. I was gonna go for brown, and I changed my mind. I am gonna go back for brown, and then I wanted to go for blue, and I said, nope, I'm liking the combination of the brown. And the brown I'm speaking of is Vintage Photo. So it's kind of an orangey brown. Kind of going off the page a bit with it. Yeah, just go straight down with your dauber. And it adds interest and whimsy to your elements. Change out your tip again if you want. And I'm gonna go back for pink. And I have to have a tip on it, Kelly. And my name is Kelly, by the way. Sometimes I mention that in my videos, and sometimes I put it in my description. And I'm gonna go with the pink down here. Pink in the water. Okay, so there she is, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm gonna do something else over here. Now that some of this is dried, the gel pen is actually going to perform better than when it was wet. It was acting as if it did not like where I was putting it. So these are tips and techniques you can use. Have fun with it. Don't get so carried away that it looks like, you know, a rumpled mess, because it's supposed to look rumpled. It's your water. So there she is, ladies and gentlemen, Moss Pond, where we made something that was not water look like water. We added a rock, we added a duck with his reflection. And so anytime you want to make something look like it's in water, crumple it. Crumple it from top to bottom. This right here got crumpled probably about 50 to 75 times. I don't know exactly how long, but it did take me over 20 minutes to crumple and slowly release it and try to keep from tearing it. So I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me. This was a wonderful project and really taking me outside of my comfort zone. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next one.